I really honestly wonder how they're going to spin this one. Job numbers missed their mark by a lot in April. Look, I know when you argue with a liberal or your family members or whoever, the number one thing they try to do, and the White House tries to do, is try to gaslight you on the economy. It's not doing well, but they tell us it is anyway. There's no actual metric that they can point to that shows we're moving in the right direction. And I'm going to help you squash all these people on the battlefield of debate. They always rush to brag about their job numbers. Well, not for April. Today's jobs report for April came out, and it showed only 175,000 new jobs in April versus the 250K that they were expecting. And a lot of these, most of these folks, the overwhelming majority, are part-time. So I should say that the Biden administration needed this one, and they missed the mark. Even CNN had to choke it down with this headline. It's crazy. So the U.S. economy added just 175,000 jobs last month. Unemployment ticked up to 3.9%. It does get worse. Despite boasting these jobs numbers, look, month after month, they were boasting decent numbers. But you know what jobs they were being created? In March, one of the months that they boasted about how good everything was, 71,000 of those jobs were government jobs, which from an economic standpoint are a net loss because those jobs are paid for by the money that they confiscate from the private sector via taxes. You know how many of those jobs, though, that they recently put out in the same month of March were manufacturing? Zero. There were zero new manufacturing jobs under old Lunchbox Joe from Scranton, which is actually up from his negative 6,000 over the few months before that. But do not buy the stats that the White House will come out and claim, oh, there were 800,000 manufacturing jobs created, when Biden came in after COVID. No, those were people going back to work at jobs that in large part were created by Donald Trump. And even Forbes noted this, saying, quote, in President Trump's first 30 months, manufacturing jobs added 499,000. Now, for comparison, in the exact same term of Barack Obama, he didn't even break the 200,000 mark in this sector. Trump more than doubled him. But outside of that, obviously more bad news for Biden, February and March numbers were also revised down 22,000 jobs, kicking unemployment up to 3.9%, as CNN conveniently located on their headline. But it's important to note that underemployment also ticked up. And this is a bigger deal than I think people realize. Of course, that is, you're never going to hear anything bad about this, or you're never even going to hear them talk about it at all from the White House. But it is a sign that the economy that the White House is selling as robust or whatever is not robust at all. It means that 7.4% of people working in the economy are working below their skill level, which has longer-term implications. 1 in 11 people in this economy are working in a job that they are significantly overqualified for, which is a sign that there is no expansion in the economy, and more importantly, not adequate upward mobility in companies. And why is that? Why could that possibly be? Well, because companies are not expanding. Why? Because interest rates are super high right now, meaning companies can't afford to borrow money to expand. Because this administration, with their stupid Inflation Reduction Act, printed trillions of dollars and then sprayed them into the economy at the rate of a fire hose. Companies are also not eager to expand because Joe Biden just announced that he's going to let the Trump tax cuts expire, which will raise corporate tax rates, as well as taxes on all brackets, but more specifically here, and more applicable here, the upper income brackets. The same bracket who would be the ones investing in new companies or the expansion of existing ones. Look, if Democrats are confused, see me after class. I can draw it out in crayon or something. But you want to know why this is happening and why none of this will ever get better under Joe Biden? Here's why. This is the tell me you don't understand the economy without telling me you don't understand the economy moment. Jared Bernstein, the chair of Biden's Economic Council of Advisors, this is the chief economist for this White House, the guy who is setting economic policy in large part, the guy whose bachelor's degree is in music with a doctorate in social welfare. He said when he was asked why the government needed to borrow money, look.
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. The government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? Yeah, I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's like,
I don't get it. Yeah. Is that how? What? You are the chairman of the President's Council on Economic Advisor. Jesus, the real success of not crashing the economy is in spite of these people. It's not because of them. My Lord. The people running this economy know nothing about how it works. And it's not like Joe Biden's going to take to the podium and be able to give some great inspirational speech. He can't. He's not inspirational to anyone. The only reason the markets are hanging on right now is because they see light at the end of the tunnel in November. That's the only reason.